Purkiss is in a war zone, but the vision remains clear. He wants the Professional Footballers Association to be an organization that meets the needs of the modern footballer. He wants the super-rich union to be the gold standard for its members. It was why he became chairman last November, and why he served on the management committee for 5 before that. Purkiss wants the PFA to use a small slice of the £50 million that sits in its reserves to finance an independent governance review, and he first suggested as much 3 years ago. But when he finally got in a position to really do something, he was not just met with resistance. He claims he was met with an attempt to remove him from office. The toll it has taken is clear. Here is a footballer who has never earned more than £60,000 a year, never played higher than League One, and is bound by a confidentiality clause that means he has to be extremely careful what he says, taking on one of the most powerful figures in football in a cause that he believes is just. Purkiss is no ordinary footballer. When he could see no route to Sheffield United's first team, he left the game to study for a degree in law and French, only returning to football when York City recruited him during the final year of his studies. But the PFA helped finance his degree, and when he became the PFA rep at Oxford United, it was the first step in wanting to give something back. I want the PFA to be innovative, to represent the needs of its members, to strengthen our relationship with the players, and strengthen our relationship with the other stakeholders, said Purkiss. We've got £50 million in the bank and I have no idea why. We've had the same CEO for nearly 40 years. Have we moved with the times? Isn't it time we had a full and comprehensive review? I first said this 3 years ago. It seemed to be what everyone else was doing across British sport. It was about modernizing. It was about best practice.About, implementing rules that benefit the members. If you don't do that, what are you there to do? I'm trying to help us cater for the needs of the modern footballer, and it's being met with resistance and I don't know why. He says he proposed to the management committee that Ed Warner, the former chairman of UK Athletics and chairman of the Crystal Palace Charitable Foundation, lead an independent review. Purkiss loves the game. It's what you dream of as a boy, to be a footballer, he said. I'm not the best player by any stretch, but I like to think I've maximized my ability. But in the last few years I've really tried to dedicate my career to pushing the PFA forwards. When I joined the management committee, it was because it was an organization I really liked and because they had helped me. But I thought there were areas where it could improve. And I wanted to bring some of my experience to the table and hopefully help shape the direction of the organization, really make a solid contribution. I had the experience of having left football, and I had the experience of what players go through, particularly in the lower leagues with short-term contracts, moving house all the time. It can be tough. Mental health is such an important issue today. We have £50 million but donate just £100,000 to research into dementia, something which I believe should be one of the most important causes the PFA can take on. I want us to represent all of the members. Last summer I went out to the World Cup and introduced myself to some of the England players, and I met some of their families. I needed them to see that the PFA was here for them too. When Danny Rose talked about his mental health issues, I contacted Gareth Southgate. My only question was why we had not been involved in helping him, 2 or 3 years prior to Danny giving that interview. In the lower leagues, too, it can be tough. If someone decides you're not good enough, that's not your fault, Purkiss explained. You still need to be treated with respect. It's old school bullying that is used to get someone out of a club. I was once made to train on my own. What is that? It's the working conditions. And what's that? That's the main purpose of the trade union, to fight for the working conditions of the players. It's not about money. Purkiss pauses and then tells a story about his own career. I remember sitting in the car and telling myself I had to pretend everything was okay, he said. I was captain of Port Vale Football Club. We've just been beaten 5-0 at the weekend. I'm struggling with a neck injury, which means I can't really head the ball, and I'm a center half. We've got no players, but I'm loyal to the manager because I think he's a great guy. So I've got to take all the crap from the media, and pretend that everything is okay. I can't say why I'm playing the way I am, and I'm out of contract in the summer. I'm earning £50,000 a year, so I can't afford not to get a new contract. I've lived with that stress. But while I continue my rehab, I actually have more time to dedicate to being the PFA chairman, and that's all I want to do here. Work for change. Work for what's best for our members.